What's up? So I am going to go through the process of replacing this handle. This is a 2015 Nissan Leaf, and as you can see, the handle has separated here. It still works. It's just an inconvenience. Kind of annoying beyond that, but I'm doing this video because I have not found any videos on YouTube for a 2015 Nissan Leaf. There's some for like 2013s and earlier, and it's a little different what I found. I've tried what has been in the other ones, so I'm just gonna run through this. Hopefully you'll find it helpful. So the tools you're gonna need, or at least that I needed, are some needle nose pliers, the angle, kind of handy. Pretty good size Phillips head screwdriver. Some wire cutters. A Torx wrench T30. Regular flathead for doing some prying stuff open. And I used a razor knife. That will become apparent why this is needed further in the video. So this is the replacement part I got on Amazon. I'll have a link to it in the comment section below. But as you can see, this is the new parts. It should pop in there with any luck, and specific to the driver's side is this hole for the key, the emergency key. So just make sure you buy the appropriate handle depending on which side you need to repair. I've already replaced the passenger side handle, and it was basically the same. It just didn't have this hole in it. So make sure you don't get those mixed up. So here we go. The first step for me was to, and using the needle nose pliers that I mentioned before, pull this little gasket out. Goal is not to scratch up your paint if you can help it. There. Got it out. And so put that somewhere, you know, where you can easily find it later. Step 2. So we're gonna have to take this panel off. So we'll walk through that. Here you'll need the flathead and the Phillips head for this one. First step, we're gonna hold this open and get the flathead in there. We're gonna pop this plate out. I'll go ahead and get this out. So there's, you can see it right there. There's a little lip right there. I'm just gonna stick this in there and use that to pry it out open. And that just pops out. And now we're going to separate this. So we got 3 connectors that we got to take apart. Let's start with this one. So there's a little tab right there you got to push in. That one out. See where the tab is on this one. one came out. And tab on this one. Gently pry these apart. There, so that popped out. So I'm just gonna set this aside. So this, so if you can see it, there's a screw right there that needs to come out. Need to get this out. On the other side, this was a Phillips head, but apparently on this side, it is not going to be a Phillips head. So I need to go find. So, all right, 10mm socket is a winner. For whatever reason, driver's side, this bolt is different. It was a Phillips head on the other, but on the side it's a socket. So I spent a little bit of time finding that. Save that. Oh, there's that. All right. So now this door is ready to come off. Underneath here, this ledge, there's little tabs that you pop it out of. Here, so then the whole door comes off. From there, got these two connectors here that need to be popped out. So let's see if you can see that. So there's a if you can see it, there's a little ledge right there in this, or a slot here in this piece of plastic. So I'm just gonna pop that up, and then this will come out. And same thing with this one, little ledge, it pops up. So there's a little angle right there that slides out. So not too tricky, but you just got to get those off. And you can't really put them back in the wrong way. Here's a connector. You can see right there, there's where the bigger, that little ball at the end goes. And then this one, there's a little hole that goes through this piece of plastic right there. And then so that angle just pops in like that, and you lock it down into this slot right here. So here's the door. Let's take this vapor barrier off so that we can get to the back side of the handle. There's a couple of connectors you gotta get out. That just comes off like that. Not to get it on you, it's pretty, not too bad, but it's sticky. Okay, so there's a couple of cables we gotta undo up under here. I'm gonna get a light. This will be a leak. Okay, so I went and got a light. This will be easier to see. This is the equipment list. That fits right in there. Alright, so we got one more step before we get to this part, but we're gonna need to disconnect that and this blue connector right up here. These are for the keyless entry mechanism. So I'll get to that in a second. There's one step we gotta do before we mess with that. And that is here on the end. There is a star screw at the end that we'll need to get out. and that will let us pop this off. And this is actually the hardest part, probably, this whole process. For me, is figuring out how to get this off. It's got a screw hole inside of this piece, and it's all plastic, so it's easy to strip the threads. Just remember that when you're going back in with it. But let me get Torx T30 that we're gonna use for this. And so this fits right in there. I'm going to do that. And you have to unscrew this more than you would think. I'm spinning, and it's still not coming out. Still not happening. So I got it loose and out. There's one more piece that I have to disconnect there. And actually, because this piece is fine, I probably don't actually have to replace that, though I suppose I could. It may not be worth it, but I can, the point really now is that I can get this piece out, but in order to get this piece out, you got to get this piece out first. And what you saw me doing was I was using the flathead to put a little side pressure on the screw head while I was unscrewing it, because it wasn't getting traction in this thread right here. So again, like I was saying, getting this out was probably the hardest part of the process on the other side, and so clearly it was pretty difficult on this side as well. That little connector right there is holding it in place, so I could pop that out. I'm gonna see if I can get away with not doing that, because this piece is fine. It's just right there. That's what has separated, and that's what we're trying to replace. So to get this piece out, you're gonna grab it and then pull towards you like that, and it will come on out. So don't torque on it too much, because we still got to disconnect those cables that I had mentioned. Next part of the adventure is separating this connector here and the connector up at top. So there's a little, right in here, there's a little flange that comes up and it sticks out over this ledge. And so to get this down, I'm gonna put some side pressure on that little flange, and with any luck, it'll get this to pop out. There, so that popped out pretty easy. There's one of those up here as well for the blue one. There, so that came up. Same thing, and I'll get a better look, show you a better look at that piece in a minute. Now to get this off, there it is. Okay, so in this side right here is the tab you need to push. There, that was it. So needle nose pliers again, pinch the back. And it'll come on out. So that was all it was. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so this piece, I'm gonna get this light up. So this piece is attached to the door handle, and that's now free to come out. I'm gonna bring that up and over. And I just gotta get this piece off. So this right here, I'm gonna snip that off.
so that this can come out. I mean, I suppose,
let me see if I can do it without snipping that off.
Yeah, I should be able to do that without snipping it off. So the flange, where's that tab? This one's a challenge. It would be a little bit easier if I took that off, because I could get it down where I could see it a little better. And it's not really, if you snip this off, you're not easily going to be able to reattach it. It's just a little like a plastic zip tie that holds the wire in place. It's not really going to be a big deal. I did cut it on the other handle on the passenger side, so that does make it a lot easier to get out.
So my plan now is to go ahead and work this out and pull that wire. Don't lose that. That's pretty important. You'll want to keep this little plastic sleeve. Just don't worry about that right this moment. So here, there, I can get that out. It's gonna be way easier. So as you can see, I ended up going ahead and pulling the wires through, and that actually is way easier for to work on it now. So we're trying to get this piece out. Let go. There. Finally. Okay, so now this piece can come on out. The old handle should be able to come on out. There, so it's out. And this, again, this is what we're replacing. This, why this happens, this is plastic right here. You can see there's a little piece of plastic right in there that should attach to this, but just over time it is worn out, and so this separates now. And yeah, it's mostly an annoyance, but I had enough, so you can keep that piece for the new door handle. So here's the new one, shiny, squeaky clean, and I'm going to put this sleeve back onto the new. Let's see if I got that right. It's gonna go like that. This is gonna go like that. So there. So this is gonna sit over that, end up right there. So this is where you're gonna have to do some improv. So the difference between the old one and the new one is the flange on this other one. You can see the flange there is along the top, right along there. And on this one, the new one, the flange is in the middle. So, and this is the replacement recommended by the auto parts portion of Amazon. So, and it works fine if you just shave this little flange off both sides. It still will lock in place with this flange right there. It'll still clip, and it fits otherwise. It's just, I don't know what happened, between 2015 and what they're doing now for replacement parts. Anyhow, this is a pretty easy fix, and this is where the razor knife comes into play. So I'm just going to very carefully try and shave this off without ruining my day. Just gentle pressure. Cut that little flange off. actually gonna put that down on the ground. I'm actually put it on a piece of wood to finish cutting that off. So that way I don't have to worry about my hand being in the way. So I've now shaved off that middle flange on both sides, just using the razor knife. I might have to take some more off, but let's see if that will work. So get them in like so. Cool, and you heard it clicking into place there, so that is good to go. So I'm gonna push that on through. Let's get this other wire back through. And I'm putting this back in. Gotta get. Alright. So here we got this little sleeve gasket thing. Just gonna pop that into place. Looks like I got these wires kind of in the way. There. Okay. So got the gasket back in place. There's little tabs on it that will hold it in place. And so now go over here to the side. So this piece is just going to go in like that. So it's flush with the door. And then I'm going to slide it that way. It should lock into place. So you hear that. So it is locked into place. And so I want to make sure, I learned this the hard way on the other side, make sure this will still open. Because you can get this too far that way, and this will be hard to get open. So I'm going to slide it this that way, as far as it will go. Make sure this is as far as that way as it will go. Side piece, and with any luck this will be lined up. That was the trick. How I got that to work was by holding the handle out first, hold this out, and then tighten this up. And that allowed it to cinch up properly. And now the door looks as it should. All right, so now basically just gonna put the door back together. So reconnecting the other wire. So I'm gonna bring this up through there, bring this up over here, and that's gonna pop back in place. Same way you got it before. Get it out, so it's just gonna pop into place. That little flange, I don't know if you can see it, but right in there, that's where that little flange comes through the plate there, and it's locked into place. So I'm not gonna worry about zip tying that back right there. You can, actually, I don't know if you can. It's some weird zip tie thing that Nissan has come up with, but it's gonna be out of the way. Really, that's the main thing. It's gonna be out of the way of the window. Lock this one back in, and this one is the same size. For whatever reason, this one fits perfectly.
there. So I'm actually just gonna use this, if I can, to lock that other wire kind of out of the way. If I can. Maybe I can't. Okay, so that's locked in place now. And then that will go up over there. So you could zip tie that wire to right there if you wanted to kind of keep it out of the way, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. It wasn't on the other side, but if you wanted to, you could zip tie this wire to this one and it would be locked in place. Let me see. Actually, I have a zip tie, so I will do that. All right, so I do have a zip tie handy, so just pop that in. Just lock that into place. And snip that off. All right, so there, it's nice and tidy. All right, we're basically done with the hard part. So from here, next step is to reattach the vapor barrier. Yeah. So we need the vapor barrier and smoosh that back in, like glue, whatever it is, sealant. Yes. There we go. So lock these two cables in. I think you can see that, yeah. So like so. Lock that in. You'll see how this goes once you get into this. This is not the hard part of this process. Okay, so that's locked in. Now going back in, gotta make sure this cable right here through okay. So you can see it's just resting on the aluminum right there. And so now really it's just a matter of pushing those in. Again, make sure these wires right here are sticking out so you can access them. Then I'm just popping, going all the way around, popping the door back in. There you go. You can do the easy one first. Going back in here. Again, this was a 10mm socket to get this screw back in, bolt. Again, now this little decorative covering right here is just going to pop back in place. Put it in. And it pops back in place. Bonus, I was able to find Phillips head for this connect point, so we're just popping that back in. Now, I'm gonna reconnect this critter. Let's see, we're gonna go like so. Pop in, and then we got this last one. Okay. So now, all of that, we'll just, when you look, should just pop back in.
So the door is back in place. Last step that I almost forgot. Put this little cap back in. Pretty easy. There, that was the last piece. All right, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna go grab the keys and fire up the car, and we'll see what we got. That's amazing. So that is working. The window is working. Lock is still working, and the mirror adjustment is still working. So bonus. So let's see if we can unlock the door with the keyless entry. So we're locked, and let's see if I can tap this button. Yep, and it unlocked. All right, so everything is working as it should. So anyhow, there you have it. New handle, not separating. Not annoying. There you have it. Cheers.